It's always about being different. Nike, they're not selling you shoes and apparel. It's where we think, right? We talk about founders of a company. We talk about the CEOs. It's always about long-term results. So nice meeting all of you guys, and I'm located in near Munich in Germany, and I used to be a motion designer. So I started out my career as a motion designer, traveled the world, worked in Germany obviously, but also in Australia, New Zealand, and later I founded my own company in Munich, which was a broadcast design agency, and we branded big TV stations around the world. I eventually sold that company and moved on to business consulting. There I worked in the US and worked with work with clients from all over the world too. And now I'm actually running a sales agency for creative studios and companies that are in a B2B market space. So that's about me. And yeah, throughout my career, I've branded 60 plus TV stations around the world. I've won 20 plus awards. Some of them you probably recognize. I want you to get into a different mindset where you actually become the guide to your client's journey, right? They are the hero, you are the guide. That's the whole shift. Very simple example, which is outside of the creative space. So that is Nicole. Nicole is a personal trainer based in Munich. She's actually a certified personal trainer in Munich. And she sells her services for 90 euros an hour. The problem with that is there's so many personal trainers in Munich, and getting 90 euros an hour is quite hard, and it seems really expensive. So I worked with Nicole because she was the wife of a former studio owner I used to work with, and I helped her with her positioning. So what we did was we positioned that like hero mindset she had at the time to a more guide mindset. So now she's selling wedding body toning program. And she pretty much helps brides, soon-to-be brides, to look great at their big day, right? It's not just buying a big dress, a great dress for your wedding day. It's also about looking good. And the difference here is now she's still doing personal training, but now we actually encountered a clear problem we are solving, right? This is a vision. She became the guide to her client's journey to look great at their big wedding day. So before, Nicole was what I call a competitive hero. She sold herself as a personal trainer. She sold her services. And she had a hard time selling it for 90 euros an hour. She usually only got half the money. After we worked together, she became the guide and she sold a big vision. And that program, we also worked a little on the program and the offer she had for her clients. But in the end, she has two offers now. One is 4,000 and the other one is 8,000 euros. And just by comparing the prices, this is a whole different level now. She's not doing anything different. She did everything she's doing now, she did before. And when you run the numbers, she's actually making more per hour now than she did before. And she has more clients that she can take on. And the only difference is that before she was selling a service, and now she's selling a vision. And that's a big shift. So personal training, this is a service, and selling a service gets the client in a short-term mindset. And when you're in the short-term mindset, clients, they want to reduce the risk they have. So what do? They lower the price, or they want you to pitch with other creative agencies. But if you go into the vision mindset, if you sell the vision, the client gets into a long-term investment mindset, and that helps them to look beyond the money they have spent and look what they get for the money they spend, right? And that's a whole different game we're playing now. And one of my favorite studios is Man vs. Machine. It's an amazing studio based out of London, and they do great motion design and then combine that with live action shootings, right? They do amazing stuff. But when you look at their homepage, and again, this is just an example for pretty much any other creative studio out there. When you look at such homepages, you only see the quality work, right? You're selling quality services, right? And that, and again, also those companies, they talk only about themselves. They want to be the hero, right? They tell you how many different awards they've won. They tell you in which city they work. They tell you where they're good at and how they excel, right? So it's all about us. But in comparison, there are trusted guides, and trusted guides, they sell a desirable vision. And here's one of my all-time favorite studios in the world. It's Dix & Bugsy, also from London. And when you look at their website, you actually, the first thing you see is it's the big vision, right? They want you to think bigger. So they say, brave brands change the world, we help create them. And by that simple statement, they get you into a different mindset. I have some great examples from iconic brands, and I want to show you that they do the same thing. So Nike, they're not selling you shoes and apparel. They actually sell you a motivation, right? They sell you the motivation that you put on those shoes and go out and go for a run, right? You can see that in all their ads, and you see that in their claim. It's just do it, right? It's fully motivational, and the ads they do, it's always about motivating and inspiring the athlete within you. So they sell you motivation. Apple is selling something like the anti-establishment. They sell you the innovation. You're different. Think different, right? You're not one of the old establishment. And again, you see that in their most famous commercials. It's always about being different. Patagonia, well, they sell responsibility. They don't sell jackets for a lot of money. They sell you, we save our home planet. Again, it's a vision. It's not just a jacket, it's a vision. So that's how they sell their highly priced jackets. Conclusion. So what I want to show you with this idea, pretty much, is that there are different ways to sell a creative studio and sell the services of the studio. And the reason why this is working is that we have what's called a triune brain, right? And our brain consists of three different parts. So the first part is the thinking brain. The second part is the emotional brain, and the third one is what's called the action brain, or also the reptilian brain. Let's quickly talk about the thinking brain. So our thinking brain is also called the neocortex. The neocortex is it's like the prefrontal cortex. It's where we think, right? That's our mind chatter, right? That's when we think within our head. That's when the neocortex works, right? It develops around 5 years of age, and the neocortex loves to create meaning out of complex situation, right? That everything around us, the neocortex filters everything that comes into our brain and tries to make sense out of it. The neocortex is also responsible for language, especially for complex language. So if you use complex language, you usually work with the thinking brain. And the problem with the neocortex is that it's a filter and it prevents messages to get through to the emotional brain. The emotional brain is the limbic system. The limbic system is the area in our brain that's responsible for social interaction, right? That's responsible to navigate social environments and also like hierarchies. The emotional brain developed before the neocortex, the rational brain, and therefore it can understand very simple language, and very simple language sticks. So when we go quickly back to dig some bugs here for a moment here, that's a very simple language, and the reason this language speaks to us is because it's easy. It uses easy words, right? Brave brands change the world. Those are words that 5-year-olds would understand. And that's why this message goes or can bypass the neocortex, our filter, and goes straight to the emotional core of our brain. And now there's also what's called action brain. The action brain is the reptilian brain, and it's responsible for our instincts. It's responsible for the survival system, like fight or flight responses, and it responds to pleasure and fear. So if you create some urgency or some fear of missing out of something, that's when you actually trigger the action brain, and people make decisions they probably regret after some time. Why is this important? Knowing that we have 3 different brains is important because depending on which level you are in an organization, of what your responsibility or your role in the project is, you operate with a different brain. So if you're on the C level, which is the top, if you lead someone, that's when you mostly operate with your emotional brain. The management level is the rational brain, and the project level, the most of us creatives operators, where you operate with the action brain. The action brain, because it's always deadline time, right? It's always crunch time. So we always have to deliver. It's kind of pressure and a lot of, well, I would say fear as well. Let's talk about the C level. So at the C level people, so we talk about founders of a company, we talk about the CEOs, the COOs, and people that actually have influence on the direction of the company. They mostly use the emotional brain. Their goal is, or their responsibility is, to lead the company and set directions. And in order to do that, they seek guidance because they have to look into the future. They don't know what's going to happen. So they need someone that helps them to conquer uncharted territory. This usually is about long-term results. So when we talk about the future of the company, where do we want to be in 3 to 5 or 10 years? It's always about long-term results. So this is about investing. When you deal with founders or CEOs, you want to sell them the direction. You want to give them a vision, and you want to offer your guidance, right? This is what we have done with Nicole, if you can remember. We have sold the vision of having a great body at your big day, right? Or Dixon Buxley is selling companies to be brave so they can change the world. So when you talk to decision makers, you want to sell them a bigger vision. And once you accept the right vision for a better future, you become the only option, right? And this is the interesting thing here. It's like, it's not about price anymore. Like if you tell people, and especially if you tell leaders of an organization, that you can get them to where they want to be, you are indispensable, because others just offer services, but you actually help them to get there where they want to be. So when you do that, you become the only option they really consider working with. And that's what Dixon Buxley did with Brave Branch Change the World. It's also what we did with Nicole, Wedding Body Toning Program, right? We incept the vision. And then there's the second level, which comes just beneath the decision maker level. It's the management level. That's where you talk to marketing and sales managers. Most people don't have as much influence. They still can make decisions, but they are not talking about the future of the company. They have to make sure that the company, the engine is running, right? They have to optimize. They have to make sure everything is in place and they control the people and the process. That's their responsibility. So those people usually think in terms of short-term gains, like return on investment, like they have their quarterly numbers. Everything has to be delivered within the next 3 months, something like that. Those people, those marketing managers, sales managers, brand managers, they use their thinking brain. And when someone uses the thinking brain, you can actually talk to them by using a more complex language, like Wolf Holland, one of the biggest and best companies or agencies in the world, does. They say we help create transformative brands that move businesses, people, and the world forward. It's a very complex language, right? But that speaks to those kind of people. Those kind of people, they appreciate that language. And those people, you want to sell them the benefit, like in return of investment, or you also want to sell them something like control, right? They love if you can guarantee them something. They love if you have a proven process. They love to have a control over the system. And those people want to invest, but also seek the least risky option, right? That's why you want to be. That's why you want to offer them some control and guarantees. Another great company that's doing that is Smash Brand. When you look at their website, they actually offer you a proven process that performs, which is even better. And I'm not sure if you can see this. There's a small number on the lower bottom. It says 32% increase in purchase intent with millennials. So they actually deliver KPIs and results. They talk about numbers and the return of investment, right? This speaks to managers. This website is really addressed to talk to sales, marketing, and brand managers. And here I made an example how this message would look like from Nicole's perspective. If she would talk to someone like a manager, it would be something around a proven 8-week weight loss program for busy people, right? It's like a proven process, and the benefit, it's weight loss, and it's for busy people, right? So this would speak to a more a mindset of management. And that's actually how big agencies sell themselves, right? And the last level is what I call the project level. That's where most of the designers operate in. When you talk to a creative director, an art director, or even better, a project manager, what they seek is services, right? They are seeking services, and they are trying to save resources. They want to save time, and they want to save money. And when you work with those kind of people, you have to execute within limitations of time and money. I just need you to understand this, because the reason why you probably don't work with your dream clients, if you don't work with your dream clients, is because you're not talking to them. You probably just show a portfolio. You probably just show them great quality service pictures, but you're not addressing the vision, or you're not giving them any KPIs so they can actually understand that on a different level. So when we're talking about the project level, people on the project level, you want to sell them features like high quality services or quick turnarounds, right? If you talk to a project manager, that's what they're interested in. They want to know you can deliver high quality in a short time at a low budget. But again, if you do that, you will be always compared to your competitors. It's always about quality and it's always about pricing. So that's not the space you want to be in, right? You want to move up the ladder. You want to work with managers, or you even want to work with the CEO of a company in small or big companies, right? Yeah, that's the shift. So studios sell themselves as the hero, right? They address the project management level. Again, man versus machine. When you only show great services, great pictures, well, that's what happens. You attract those kind of people. You attract project managers. You attract people that want to save money and people that don't have a lot of time for you to perform at your best. And that's where Nicole came from when we first started off working together. She branded herself as a certified personal trainer living in Munich. And that's the reason why most studios are dissatisfied with the clients they work. And it's not the fault of the client, it's not the market fault, it's not the fault of the competition. It simply is the fault that they don't speak in a language that their dream clients actually understand, that they could help them. What I wanted you to learn here is basically that we have a three-part brain. It's called the triune brain. The triune brain consists of the thinking brain, and again, the thinking brain is responsible to make sense out of the environment. It loves complexity, and yeah, just need to be aware that we have that. Then there's the emotional brain. The emotional brain is used by CEO and founders, by decision makers most of the time, and when you talk to decision makers, you want to make sure you use a simple language and you actually sell them a vision of a better tomorrow. And whenever you have to work with project managers or with people, even with clients that run on an action brain mentality, which means they want to save money and time, make sure you're selling them high quality at low costs and a quick turnaround. So again, C-level, sell the vision. Management level, sell the benefits. And at the project level, you want to sell them the quality at a competitive price. And here's the shift. Once you do that, once you understand that you want to sell the vision and not the quality, you shift from being a competitive hero to becoming a trusted guide to your dream clients. And this is important because obviously we all want to have more money, more time, and more freedom, more creative freedom to execute at our best level. And we can only do that if we work with the right clients. It's not going to happen if you work with someone that has to save time and money, right? It's going to happen with someone that gives you all the freedom, creativity, a lot of money, and a lot of time to perform at your best. So, takeaway for today is that iconic brands sell a vision and they don't sell products or services, right? You remember Nike, you remember Apple. They don't sell us services or products, they sell us a vision. And that's how you as a creative studio can win your dream clients too.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye guys.